Ready for an amazing weekend? Hello there, YouTube. I hope you're also doing great. Ready for an amazing weekend. Have had a great week. I hope that all is well in your world. Hello there, Deroy, Tessa, and somebody else. Ian, hello there. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Me, MF Doll. Okay, good to see you. Glad you're here. All right, Mari, nice to see you here. Prisipas, hello there. Good to see you. All right, so I've got some questions here on YouTube. I will go right to. Let's jump in here. Flyer says, hi, Loren. In order to know which blood pressure monitor to get for remote fasting, what's the accuracy and cost roughly of the one used? Tanglewood, please. I've seen many and all plus 3 points. I don't know what that means. Is your cat a frugivore? No. Cats are obligate carnivores. Okay, so first of all, let's clarify something. We're not frugivores or carnivores or herbivores because of what we eat. We're what we are because of our physiology. And cats are obligate carnivores. That means they have to eat meat to be healthy. And so if you want to keep a cat, I think you've got to feed them meat because that's what their bodies are intended for. Okay? I understand completely how you might not want to do that as a vegan or vegetarian. I understand. But then you shouldn't keep cats. Now, dogs are omnivores. They do need bones, at least, is my understanding. But I'm not an expert on dogs, don't have any. But cats are obligate carnivores. So I would never feed a cat. A cat's never a frugivore no matter what you feed it. But if you feed it only fruit, you're going to hurt it because it needs to get things from meat. We, on the other hand, are frugivores, no matter what we eat. Okay, people who are misguidedly eating a meat-based diet are frugivores. People eating, a ketogenic diet are frugivores. People eating, whatever they eat doesn't make any difference. We're frugivores. Our physiology determines what we are. Okay, our physiology determines that. So we can eat anything we want to, but we're still frugivores, and our bodies are meant for fruit and soft, tender leaves only. That's what our bodies are made for. Small amounts of nuts and seeds are okay, but that's really all we should be consuming. That's it, fruits and leafy greens, because that's what we are. We are frugivores. We're not meant to be consuming anything other than those things. All right? Okay, so back to the blood pressure monitors. You know what? Most blood pressure, I would go to Amazon and look at the ratings, and I wouldn't worry about it. You can get a blood pressure monitor for probably $50 to $75, I think, and probably any of them that is well rated should be fine. Okay, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You'll get a good one, but they're not that expensive. You can spend a little bit more and get something that's got a better rating. But I wouldn't worry too much that it's the very best. You don't need something medical grade. These machines, the technology is at the point where almost any machine's probably going to do the job reasonably well. I wouldn't buy some piece of junk. Okay. Amir, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for your kind comments. Glad to be here with you. Amir says, do you always recommend your adult clients to decrease their water intake by 1 glass at a time? Has it ever happened to recommend to someone to decrease by half a glass? Yes, there are times where I'll recommend that people only go up by half a glass at a time. Jared, how you doing? Good to see you, man. That does happen. But I have to know the specifics of the situation. So yes, at times I would recommend half a glass at a time. I don't recommend more than a glass at a time in most cases. And even then, there are times where I'll recommend that someone goes up by more than a glass. When would that happen? Well, let's say someone is drinking 2 or 3 liters a day, and I can see that they need, at least 4 and maybe 5. So I'd encourage them to go up by a full liter or even more than a liter. If someone's only drinking 2 liters for some reason, I'm not usually going to encourage them to go to 2.5, which would be 1 glass. Okay, I'm going to encourage them to go up by at least a full liter and possibly even more than that. Okay, thank you so much. You too, Jared. How do we estimate how much water to drink in a day? We don't estimate how much water to drink in a day. There's no way to do that. I mean, most people are going to need, if they're eating, are going to need probably 3 to 4 liters a day. But the only way to really know how much water we need is by measuring our vital signs and properly interpreting them, something your doctor does not know how to do unless I've trained him. They don't know how to do this. Okay, they're not taught that. So I worked out how to tell whether someone's getting enough water or not. But you have to understand what those numbers mean. So you could do a coaching session with me, have a consultation, and I could explain exactly what to look at. You need to have a blood pressure monitor. Okay. All right. Chris Graham says, how long of a water fast will it take to reverse asthma and or COPD? Well, there's no way to know that for sure. But generally speaking, with a COPD, with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, is a serious condition. It's an umbrella. It includes a bunch of different conditions, including emphysema, which is probably the most commonly known of these conditions. Emphysema, it means that the tissue in your lungs that transfer oxygen to the bloodstream have become riddled with scar tissue, and so no longer function very well. And to reverse this, and we've reversed this more than once, but to reverse this condition, first of all, some scar tissue isn't going to heal, but the goal is to make the body as efficient as possible and hope for some healing there. Again, it may vary from person to person, but I would say you'd probably want to fast at least 30 days because this is a very serious condition. Okay, it's a very serious condition. So I wouldn't want to do less than that. Asthma, we've seen great results sometimes in as little as 21 days. More is almost always better. Most people need to do between 21 and 30 days for anything. I mean, even if they have no conditions at all, but they want to be as healthy as possible, virtually everybody benefits from fasting 21 to 30 days. And, most people are so freaked out by the idea of that, they would never even consider it. But it's life-changing for most people. Okay, virtually everyone should do that if they're willing to, because it's incredible what happens. We get all those years of garbage out of the body. All right. Mytal Myler says, hey, Loren, thanks for doing the live. My throat is burning. I'm feeling good, just the throat. Short fast can help? Yeah, almost certainly will. If it were me, I would definitely rest completely. I mean, it's not just about not eating, folks. You have to understand, this is about resting your body as completely as possible. So what I would do is I would rest with plenty of water on hand and do nothing. No screens, no reading, close your eyes and rest. The whole objective is, what is it with that? The whole objective, it's funny, when I get on these cameras, I'm like, oh, my shirt's way off somehow, right? Twisted to one side. I would plan on doing absolutely nothing so that you heal as quickly as possible. That's the whole point. Okay, resting allows your body to heal as quickly as you can. All right. Love your work, by the way. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Chris. I'm guessing it's Chris Graham, not Graham Chris. Anna, I'm doing great today. Thank you so much. Doing fantastically well. Pianos in Parks, grassroots movement. Hello there. Nice to see you. I haven't heard about your movement, but okay, interesting. Pianos in Parks. Augusto, what do you think about fresh chili pepper? Chili pepper burns so chili peppers contain an ingredient, a chemical called capsaicin, which burns human tissue. It burns your tissue. Okay, your body, when you eat chilies, produces mucus to encapsulate and help you eliminate the capsaicin so it doesn't burn you, it doesn't hurt you any more than necessary. So I don't think much of eating chilies, okay? Not a great idea, really. Is watermelon rind or the shell good to juice and drink? No. First of all, juices are far inferior to whole foods, okay? Juices are far inferior to whole foods. This is always the case, okay? We're not going to take nature's perfect foods and somehow make them better. That would be impossible to improve on perfection. We're not going to make them better by putting them through a machine. So, I mean, if you enjoy a glass of juice every once in a while, go ahead. But know that fruit juices and carrots and beet juices have very high glycemic loads because it's a lot of sugar, and you take the fiber out, and what happens? Blood sugar is likely to go up 3 times the glycemic load of the whole food. Okay, green juices are overly concentrated in protein. So juices are inferior. I mean, there's no reason to drink juice. It's another band-aid approach. Let's flood the body with nutrients. No, let's not actually. Let's not do that, because that just means the body has to work harder to outprocess all the stuff it doesn't want. We're not helping the body that way. Okay. Every species on the planet thrives eating whole food, not juicing. They don't need juices, animals. Okay. They're much healthier than people. Okay. Without drinking juices or smoothies. We don't need these things, and they're not good for us. So, I mean, yeah, and don't, I mean, I know there's people going, you're crazy, you're wrong, you're stupid, whatever, because someone is saying I healed by drinking juices. Right. Everything's relative, folks. If you go from eating a standard American diet, okay, or standard diet of any country I've ever been to, and you go from that to drinking juices, that's a less of a burden on your body. It's less of a burden on your body, therefore your body has more energy to heal. But is that optimal? No, not even close. Not even close. Far better off simply eating the whole foods your body needs. Okay? We're never better off eating things that are largely oxidized, fragmented, overly concentrated, imbalanced, okay, unnatural, high concentrations of heavy water. Heavy water occurs in all produce, and when we juice it, we concentrate it. Okay, there's no reason to drink this stuff. Okay, no reason. So, but we don't need to consume things that we wouldn't eat. So, would you eat the watermelon rind? It doesn't taste very good. Okay, I eat the part that tastes good. I don't eat peels of fruits that don't taste good, the rinds of fruits. Why would I do that? Okay, we don't need to get more nutrients. We don't need to get more nutrients. Okay, if you're eating optimal, you got all the nutrients you need coming into your body. If you're not getting what you need, the answer isn't to push more nutrients into the system. The answer is to make your system more efficient so it gets what it needs from what it already has. Okay, so not only do I not drink juices or smoothies most of the time, every once in a while, but it's not part of my daily routine, not at all. Okay, I mean, I might have a smoothie a few times a year. I might have a juice a few times a year, most of the time. All right. What I do instead is I eat relatively small quantities of perfect foods, whole foods, and I do amazingly well. Okay, 35 years without a day sick, strong and fit. Okay, still have smooth, virtually unlined skin at 61. My body works amazingly well. I'm flexible. I'm strong. Okay, this doesn't require a lot of extra time or effort. You don't need to make juices or smoothies. It's not helping you. If it feels like it's helping you, that tells you that your body's not functioning very well. And so the answer is to make the body more efficient. We do that via fasting. It's the single most efficient and effective thing that we can do to allow our body to cleanse and heal. Okay, that's the key. We do better by consuming fewer calories, not more. Okay, juices and smoothies are concentrating things. We're consuming more calories, not helping. That's not the way. I mean, again, I get you might have seen some benefit. You might have healed your condition. Okay, but that doesn't mean that's the best thing you can do. It just means it's better than what you were doing before. You want to be really, really clear about that. All right? All right. Let's see. Are calories a myth? Are calories a myth? No. Calories are real. That doesn't mean that we understand them very well. Okay? So first of all, what is a calorie? What is 1 calorie? Okay? 1 calorie is the amount of heat necessary to raise the temperature of 1 cubic centimeter or 1 milliliter, same thing, of water 1 degree Celsius. That's a calorie. Now, what's important is to understand how calories are determined. Okay, calories are determined. They want to see how many calories a food has. They put that food into a test tube and they set it on fire. They burn it, okay, to see how much heat is released. That's how calories are determined. Are you setting food on fire in your body? I hope you are not. Okay, my recommendation would be to don't try to do that at home. Okay, we're not doing that. We're eating food. We're metabolizing. It's different. Okay, I don't think it's reasonable to say that a calorie is always a calorie. that a calorie of this equals a calorie of that. The way of looking at calories, that's what it says. Well, both these things raise the temperature 1 degree, that's a calorie. Okay, but in the body, is that what's happening? Not exactly. Okay, so I mean, it does, the calorie does give us a relative sense of how much energy is embedded in the food, which is what calories are. It's embedded energy. How much energy do we release when we set this thing on fire? But it's not necessarily the same when we're metabolizing it in the body. Okay, so it's a faulty concept, not a myth, but it's just, I mean, it's not really understood very well, and probably not used properly. Okay, hope that makes sense. Hello, Guzelle. Guzelle is here with us. Good to see you. Shine with fruits. What are your thoughts on histamine intolerance and high histamine fruits? Okay, so histamine intolerance is real, and I mean, some people need antihistamines so that they don't wind up with symptoms of, of hay fever, etc. But again, the problem isn't with the fruit. Okay, there's no fruit that should create a problem for you. The problem occurs because of what's going on in the body. So what we do is we heal the body, we cleanse the body, we hydrate the body, and then we can probably eat any fruit that we choose to. Okay, I don't think we have to worry about the histamine content of fruits. All right, Christina Iberoch. Hola, Eduardo Carrasa está ahí con dice maravilla. Uma benacao sim como. Okay, this is Portuguese, which I understand some of. Okay, so I think basically this is Christina is saying Eduardo Carrasa, Dr. Eduardo Carrasa, naturopath, is here fasting with me now for 40 days, that he's doing well. And she's saying she admires me and admires him, I think. And thank you for sharing your knowledge. You are very, very welcome. I hope you can understand my English. You're very welcome. Eduardo's doing fine and will be done very soon. I think he's down to 4 or 5 days. Today's day 35, so he's got 5 days to go. All right, Doug, hello there. Good to see you. Thoughts on Dr. Sebi parasite cleanses? I don't know enough about, I know what Dr. Sebi promoted for the most part. Thoughts on parasite cleanses. We see parasites eliminated all the time through fasting. And fasting is the best way to let the body, this drives me crazy, to let the body cleanse and balance itself, including getting rid of parasites. So, I'm not going to talk about Dr. Sebi because I don't really know, like, I didn't know him personally. I don't really know who he was as a person. I know he intended to help as many people as possible. I think our philosophies are similar, but different. We agree on much, but not everything. And so I can't really say too much not knowing more than that. You're very welcome, Doug. Thanks so much for your kind comments. Shine with Fruit says, I really want to do a long water fast in the future one day at your fasting center. Great work. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It would be amazing for you. And I would say, sooner the better, because it allows you to take your health to an amazing new level every single time if you can follow simple coaching. So if you can come get here. Why do I say there's heavy water in produce? Because there is. It's a fact. It's a simple fact of science. Look it up. Okay. Heavy water exists, H2O3, and it's harmful to us, and it's in everything. And it's fine because when we eat produce, it's in tiny quantities and doesn't hurt us, but we don't want to concentrate it. Okay. We don't want to concentrate it. All right. My histamine intolerance went away by going raw vegan, mostly fruits. Exactly. That's the thing. I mean, take care of your body. It won't be an issue. Okay. I mean, histamine intolerance probably occurs because of toxicity and dehydration, making your body far more sensitive to all kinds of things. It's poor immune function that creates oversensitivity, like allergies. Same thing. You can eliminate most allergies by simply making your body healthy enough and hydrated enough. Okay. All right. Permanent damage from sun gazing. Any tips? Well, A, don't sun gaze. I mean, sun gazing, frankly, is insane. Sun gazing, this is the idea is that you look at the sun directly with your open only when the sun is going down and when it's coming up first thing in the morning and last thing in the afternoon before sunset. You know, it should be at sunset because it's lowest on the horizon, therefore far less powerful. But there's no point, there's no reason to stare at the sun at all. There's no, you know, the idea, well, it detoxifies your pineal gland. You know what? You can do exactly the same thing. And every person who's ever been in a warm climate, you know, knows what this is. You close your eyes and you face the sun and you still get sunlight through your eyes, right through your eyelids, without the danger of burning your retinas. Okay? So permanent damage from sun gazing, what I would do, we have seen thousands of people. I mean, most people come here without perfect vision. Almost everybody improves their vision by fasting. So if I were you, JM, I would get myself down here for 4 weeks or more and get ready to see dramatic improvement in your vision. Okay, the damage from sun gazing, your body can probably heal that by fasting long enough. Okay, that's what happens with almost everything. No vax, I hope. Absolutely. You're asking me if I'm vaxxed? I'm not sure where that's coming from, Doug. Definitely don't do it. Okay, if you've done it, sorry. Hey, Kurt Schaefer, good to see you. But yeah, there's definitely no reason to do that. Okay, it's a terrible idea. This stuff has never made any sense. I haven't been V'd now in about 35 years and have no intention of ever letting anyone stick any of that crap in my body again. Okay? All right. Mike Connor says, hello, Loren. Thanks for answering questions. Love your content. My question is about and measuring hydration. The scale I have has 60 to 7% is normal. Is there a standard for that assessment? Well, the problem, Mike, is that with any bioimpedance device, is that all that scale is telling you is the percentage of your mass, which is water. And the problem is, I mean, it's 60 to 70%, they say is normal because that's where most people are. That's what normal means, okay? Is that healthy? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. And we don't know because it depends on how much body fat you have. It depends on your body composition. That number alone is virtually meaningless. It's meaningless, okay? I've had clients who were no more than 25% of their mass in water. Very low, right? Yeah, and they might have been better hydrated than you. How's that possible? Well, they were morbidly obese. Fat contains almost no water, about 10%. So I've got a formula, okay, that allows me to it attempts to calculate, try to get to, I'm going to change my position here. Yeah, it allows us to, attempts to allow us to calculate your actual hydration. Okay, your hydration, not just the percentage of your mass, which is water, but your lean hydration, what percentage of your lean tissue is water. Now, there's some issues with that too, because we have to make some assumptions, two assumptions to get that number. Information we need the scale doesn't give us. So we make assumptions and it gets us in the ballpark, but that's much more useful. The number that on the scale, it's not really very useful as it is because you have to correct for body fat. You have to correct for body composition. All right. Shine with Fruit says, any tips on moving to Costa Rica while working online? Well, there was a new bill passed creating something here called, it's residency for digital nomads, where you can stay, I forget how long it is, 2, 3, 4 years. I don't remember now. You can look at it online. I don't pay much attention to it because digital nomad. You have to be able to show X amount of income from your online endeavors. If you can show that income from online endeavors, you can get this residency visa to be here. It's not permanent, but it allows you to stay for a period of time. They're trying to attract digital nomads. I can't tell you much more than that. And of course, I mean, Costa Rica is an amazing country. It's beautiful. The climate's incredible. The people are very friendly and happy. We can grow, we've got more than 200 varieties of fruits growing here on site. I'm going to be doing a video soon, probably a couple of videos this week, maybe quite a few, because I have right now some things that you may not see very often, including some amazing fresh durians, tiny little durians, but amazing. We have, what else? We have snake fruit. We have Brunei cherries. We have tarap. We have a little variety of mangosteens that are beautiful. We have Rollinia. We have chocolate sapotes. We have all kinds of very cool things that I'll share with you in a series of videos and photos, perhaps on Instagram. Maybe we'll do something on YouTube. That takes longer. If you're watching YouTube, and you might want to get yourself to Instagram and follow me there too, because there are things I can do on Instagram much more immediately. I can make a video and have it up today, whereas we put things on YouTube. Usually there's some editing involved, and it's a much bigger process. I mean, I guess people do that on Instagram too, but I don't. That's, I don't have time for that. So how often do you recommend fasting? For how long? Thanks. Every situation is different, but most adults need to fast at least 3 or 4 times for 21 to 30 days to eliminate a lifetime's worth of garbage. Now, when you fast with me the first time, I'll show you how you can check yourself whether you need to fast again. So you don't have to trust me. You'll know for yourself whether you still need to fast afterward. But most people need to fast 3 or 4 times. I recommend having at least 6 months between those fasts. And for some people, maybe longer. And every once in a while, less time than that, depending on what's going on with someone. Okay. But yeah. So, over the course of, say, 3 or 4 years, you can do, or less, you could do 3 or 4 fasts. You would take your health from wherever you are now to a much higher level. And I'll guarantee that to you in writing if you follow my coaching. Okay. If you follow my coaching. If you're not willing to follow my coaching, then all bets are off. Okay. If you don't do this properly, you don't get the results. And we see people, I've got, 30 some people here now, probably at least half of them fasted on their own. None of them. And one of them is right now saying, I fasted on my own several times. I've never had this before. I'm like, yeah, well, this is completely different when you're doing it the way we do it here. Okay. It makes a huge, huge difference. All right. Enormous difference. We have a 10 Bulgarian contribution from Krasimir. Krasimir, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Hi, Loren. I lost some electrolytes. Do I need to eat more often to restore my electrolytes? How long will it take to restore it? Well, I can't answer the question without far more detail. So I would need to know what electrolytes you lost, what the values are. We'd need to know what else was going on, because there's a reason why this happened. Okay. Are you doing hot yoga? Are you doing CrossFit? Are you putting yourself in this kind of situation where you're doing a lot of sweating in hot conditions? Because that doesn't make any sense. Okay, that's going to put you out of balance. A lot of people. CrossFit gyms and hot yoga studios wind up with hyponatremia problems all the time. Okay, so it's hard to answer without having a lot more information. You're a client. If you want to send me some details, maybe I can send you a quick email back. But depending on what it is you've lost, that too, if you're down in sodium and chloride, then you might want to drink some celery juice. And I know, again, I'm not a fan of juices, but this is a situation where you want to boost those electrolytes quickly, not too quickly. You take in too much, even celery juice, your body is going to try to protect itself from the excess sodium. Okay, and you're going to wind up with edema. If on the other hand, you're low in potassium, that's probably a lot easier, because potassium is found in high concentrations in bananas and avocados and papayas and watermelons and cantaloupes and a lot of other things. A lot of fruits have lots of potassium. Most of them don't have so much sodium or chloride. So it depends on what it is you're actually needing, how you respond to it. Do you offer air-conditioned rooms at Tanglewood? No, we do not. Air conditioning is not healthy. Not healthy. Okay. Air conditioned means you've got the same stale air circulating in most cases. Here at Tanglewood, it's never hot enough that we need air conditioning. Okay, it doesn't get that hot here most of the time. I'm in shorts and flip-flops, comfortable, not sweating here ever unless I'm working out. Okay, we're up at elevation. It's beautiful here. It's in the 80s, but it doesn't get so hot. We need air conditioning. And I would never have it. I'm just going to live where I don't need air conditioning. Okay. Should I take electrolytes when water fasting? Well, I think you should decide, Wolf King, if you want to water fast or if you want to take electrolytes. Because if you're taking electrolytes, you're not water fasting. Okay? Water only fasting means there's no nutrients and no calories. You cannot take anything and still be fasting. You can, I mean, you can take electrolytes and call it a fast if you want to, but you're not actually fasting. You're not getting the benefits of fasting because you're not actually fasting. Your body's not in fasting physiology if there are nutrients coming in. So the answer is no. And to be honest with you, okay, and your question demonstrates what I'm about to say. You don't know enough to do this safely on your own. Okay? No one should be fasting more than 5 days or so without having experienced guidance. It makes all the difference in the world. And if you can't get here, I guide people remotely. It costs half as much, less, and there's a payment plan. So you can come out of pocket a quarter as much as if you were coming here, okay, and have a year to pay off the balance roughly. Okay, I'm not giving you details, but okay, go to the Tanglewood Wellness Center website. Far more intelligent to do this with guidance and do it correctly and safely than to try to do it on your own. All right, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, do I ever feed my cats some papaya, watermelon once in a while? No, my cats get into papaya sometimes. They're attracted to papaya because the enzymes in papaya, to them, it smells like meat. They vomit whenever they eat papaya. Okay, they do not, their bodies are not happy with papaya. They're not fruit eaters. Now, the exception, they love avocados, okay, and they'll get into tomatoes, which again, similar to the papayas, there's something there that attracts them, but it makes them vomit. So we have to keep the papayas and tomatoes away from the cats. Mangoes too, if they're ripe. We can't let them near those fruits. Avocados they will eat. They love avocados. Coconut they want. They're attracted to fat because as carnivores they're eating a lot of fat and a lot of protein. All right, but no, I don't feed my cats any fruit. They don't want any fruit, except for those things I just mentioned. If a Central European remotely fasted with you during winter, what's the best fruit to break the fast since watermelon, melons, coconut water aren't available then? Oranges, perhaps. I mean, in the wintertime, depending on when it is, you can get citrus, grapefruits are even better, pomelos if you can get them. Those are high water content fruits. You could eat some apples. They're not as high, but high enough that they're still okay. If you can get strawberries and other berries, they're good. They're high in water. Not blueberries, but any other berry that I know is pretty high in water. Okay, so those things would work. This happens all the time. I work with people all the time in Europe who don't have melons and papayas and fresh out of the coconut, not young Thai coconuts and not bottled coconut water. I wouldn't recommend those things at all. Okay. All right. What does it mean to have heart palpitations during a water fast? I experienced it at True North. Well, Fred, first of all, you made a mistake. You went to True. Why would you do that when you could come here? Much nicer place. There's no one meaning. Heart palpitations can happen for various reasons. It's entirely possible that you weren't getting enough water because they tell people not to drink enough water. Don't do that again. Come here. Look, it's not necessarily problematic to have heart palpitations. It happens a lot. But again, without knowing much more, it's hard to say what was going on for you. Okay? But Fred, I'll guarantee you in writing, come spend 4 weeks with us, and you'll get twice as much benefit as you got at True North, guaranteed. It happens every single time. Okay, unfortunately, they're not really allowing your body to do what it needs to do. All right, Marion says, can water fasting get rid of heavy metals? And what's the best water to use? Maybe distilled water. Thank you. Yes, your body can eliminate heavy metals through water only fasting. Your body is virtually infinitely intelligent. It's amazing what you do when you get out of the way and give it a chance. Should you use distilled water? Absolutely not. Distilled water is unfit for human consumption. Okay, it is completely unnatural. Yes, I know. I've seen the Aquarius Water Bear website. It's nonsense, complete non-science nonsense. Okay, rain is not distilled water. It always contains minerals, always, and dust and pollen and often pollutants. Okay. Urine is definitely not distilled water. It contains up to 400 chemicals. Distilled water means only water. Urine's not distilled water. It's absurd. The fruit juice, the water from fruits and vegetables, is that distilled water? No, it's loaded with nutrients. Okay, you're not going to find distilled water in nature. It comes out of a machine. No one should consume it. Okay, you should use clean spring water if you can get it. That's what we drink here. Comes right out of the ground on site. This is optimal. If you want to work with me remotely, then you want to get good spring water if you can. If not, reverse osmosis is the next best option, because it takes out the chlorine and fluoride and most of the garbage and still leaves in around 10% of the minerals. So the body can still use this water. It can cross cell membranes and it can conduct electricity. Okay, you can't, distilled water doesn't allow your body to conduct electricity, which is what it runs on. We run on microelectric current. That's a problem. Is the heavy water in produce naturally occurring or because of some kind of contamination? It's naturally occurring. H2O3 occurs naturally in everything in relatively small quantity. The problem is when we juice something, we concentrate it. Okay, now it's more concentrated and therefore more harmful. All right, good question. All right, I'm going to scroll back up here on YouTube and see where I was. Okay, Amir says, any sponge finally gets saturated with enough water. Why wouldn't the old intestinal stuff get saturated and leave the body by juice diet, sipping enough water and resting for a couple weeks? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Your body needs the energy fasting to break it down. So people tell me they eliminate mucoid plaque juice fasting. In most cases, they don't. And I know that because they come here thinking they've eliminated it. And what they eliminate here is completely different. What they were eliminating, drinking juices, okay, was stuff that had been slowly making its way through their system. It just doesn't happen. At night, when you're sleeping, and you should be sleeping, that material dries out again. And then the next day it absorbs water again. Okay, it just doesn't happen. I mean, maybe I'm not even fully explaining properly why, but it doesn't happen, Amir. Okay, come spend a month with us or work with me remotely. I will guarantee you in writing, you'll take your health to an amazing new level. It doesn't fail if you can follow simple guidelines. If you can follow my coaching, you will become healthier than you've ever been. Guaranteed. It's what happens every time. Okay, it's not going to happen drinking juices, which nobody should be consuming. They're unnatural, overly concentrated, largely oxidized, imbalanced, fragmented, and contain heavy water, too much sugar, or too much protein. There's no reason to consume them. Okay, there's no reason to consume them. They're not fit for human consumption. All right, you're very welcome, Augusto. Max says, any place to find motivation while fasting? Any places to find motivation while fasting? I don't know, Max. Nature. I mean, I find my motivation from nature and understanding that every species in nature lives at an amazingly high level because they didn't pollute their bodies with garbage they shouldn't have eaten. You and I did, but they don't. In nature, it doesn't happen. I get most of my motivation from, I get my motivation from being really clear what I'm committed to and what it is I want to create for myself. Okay, how I want to be a stand in the world for everyone, feeling and functioning as well as possible. For a stand for myself, for maximizing my potential. But if you work with me remotely, okay, if you're here, there's a lecture every day to motivate, inspire, and educate you. If you work with me remotely, you get an email and a video every day to motivate, inspire, and educate you. Okay? If you're on your own, you're on your own. Can't help you. That doesn't make much sense. I mean, really, it makes all the difference in the world to have experienced guidance. So, folks, anyone thinking I can't afford that, you can afford anything you choose to. We can make it happen. We can, it's just a question of getting creative today. We live in a global economy. Find a way you can create value for the world, and you can raise. I mean, again, to fast with me remotely for 4 weeks, fasting and refeeding, you need about $1,000 up front, a little bit more. That's all. It's not a tremendous amount of money. Okay, there's no one here. You have a computer or a cell phone, you can probably make that happen. Okay, there's a way to do that. I promise you. Downstream Queen, hello there. Good to see you. Ali, nice to see you here. Pritmer, S.E. Smart. Andre Vincent says your calculation of hydration, will that go down when the total body water percentage falls down from 77 to 74%? I don't understand your question, Andre. My calculation of hydration goes down when your hydration goes down. It goes up when it goes up. Okay, it doesn't matter what the scale says. It matters what's really going on. Again, we're going to be shifting this because we're looking at what's really happening. Okay, it's not based on what the scale says. That's only one number. That's not your hydration. That's the percentage of your mass, which is water. So we have to work with that to determine what your hydration is. Your hydration goes down when your hydration goes down. It's not going to go down because of a number on the scale. All right. Hello, Rebecca. I hope you're doing well. Hello, Loren. Good to see you. Let's see. Momin, nice to see you. Eva, nice to see you here. CB Raw Works, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Eva Housebid, do you know any good fasting retreats in Europe you'd recommend? No, I don't. I don't know of any good fasting retreats in Europe. But I know of airlines that fly to Costa Rica. We have, in every session, we'll have 20 Europeans here, typically, not out of 30 people, out of 60 people, because our sessions are 10 weeks long. So, we'll have 30 people at the beginning. We'll have a few people that are here longer, but, we'll have 55 people or so here for the session. There's probably 20 people from Europe every session. Okay. People come here from all over the world because there's no place like Tanglewood. My advice would be to get yourself here. It makes all the difference. Okay. Bananas in my local supermarket do not have black seeds. Actually, there are no seeds. Even the organic bananas, when we were little, me and you, bananas had seeds. You know what? When I was young, the bananas, like now, have just these little tiny remnants of seeds. Now, some varieties of bananas do have seeds. We have some bananas with seeds here, but most of them don't. Where do you get all this info? I want to learn, but where do you recommend me? Victoria, I have been studying nutrition and health now since I was 14. And as you probably guessed, I'm 19 now. So it's already been 5 years. Okay, not exactly. It's been 47 years that I've been studying. I get this from all over the place, from reading books, from reading studies, from having worked with more than 15,000 clients, from attending seminars, you name it, okay? Where can you get it? Well, here's the good news. Go to academyforvibrantliving.com. I have a course called Vibrant Health, where I'm going to teach you everything I know, okay? It's in that course. It's amazing. We've had amazing feedback. Why do some people have a pre-auricular sinus? I don't know. Why do some people have anything? I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why people's bodies form the way they do. And I can't tell you exactly why that's happened, but I wouldn't, the best thing we can do is with whatever we have. I mean, look, my body's not perfect, okay? But I haven't been sick a day in 35 years. And my body still functions better today at 61 than it did when I was 18, because I'm doing everything I can to work with it as well as possible. So I have disadvantages. I have genetic weaknesses, including problems with my knees and digestion, etc. And yet those things don't really plague me at all because of the choices I'm making on an ongoing basis. You can do the same thing. Anyone can do the same thing. Let me say that. All right. Where were we? Let's see here. Andromach Dennis. Is it your consistent long-term fasting that made you so healthy, or just your diet? Would your diet be insignificant without your history of fasting? Excuse me. The diet's not insignificant. It's quite significant. However, we fast people all the time who've been eating a perfect diet, in some cases for as long as 20 plus years, and they never feel and function as well as they could until they get their body clean. So they're both important. Okay, it's creating an amazing level of health depends on meeting all of the body's needs as well as possible. And our body's needs are simple. I mean, they're not difficult to meet. Okay, it's certainly not complicated at all. The body's needs include a clean environment where I've got clean air, okay, and clean natural water. Okay, that's the best we can do. Okay, without toxic substances and chemicals, etc. Here, you're going to find natural fibers and materials, no particle board furniture. All the furniture is solid wood. I have it made here. I know exactly what it is. No treated fabrics. The fabrics are untreated with chemicals, natural materials. Again, no HVAC system that's circulating the same toxic air that makes people sick all the time. Our windows are always open. Okay, I've got a door here and a window here, and bathrooms right here, and it's completely open on one wall. I've got an open French door right here. Plenty of airflow. Okay, what we eat, critically important. Getting the garbage out of the body, critically important. Getting enough sleep, getting enough exercise and activity, having a way to deal with your emotions. These are the body's needs. That's it. Okay, it's nothing complicated. Okay, I can teach you exactly how to meet all of them, and I do that in the Vibrant Health course at the Academy for Vibrant Living. Okay, so it's both fasting to get the garbage out and to allow my body to become fully hydrated, which isn't going to happen until you get the garbage out. It never ever happens. Again, there was a question earlier. Won't this work with? Amir asked, "Done this? Won't this work with juice fasting?" We have people here all the time. Look at Jeff Juices on Instagram. Okay, been juice fasting and drinking juices for years, trying to heal. Came here, completed a fast, and said, "Oh my God, I never believed I could feel this healthy." Came back again this year and said, "Oh my God, I never believed I could feel even healthier than before. I've never felt this good in my life." That's what happens if you're coachable and willing to do what you need to do. There is no substitute. You're not going to get there drinking juices. You're not going to get there any other way. All right? Can juicing take the place of some water? Well, Carrie, I've just been talking about juices. Juices are not really optimal in any way. So yes, you're getting some hydration from them. But if there's too much sugar, it's actually going to cost you some water to get the extra sugar out of the bloodstream. Same with extra protein. Okay? Much drinking water. Juices are not ideal. Overly concentrated, largely oxidized, imbalanced, fragmented, too much protein, too much heavy water. You're much better off eating whole foods and sipping clean water. Natural water, spring water is the best you can do. That's going to be the best you can do. All right? How about flush the liver? No, we don't need to flush liver. We should fast instead. I mean, liver flushes olive oil, which no one should consume. Okay? Has two primary functions. One, to metabolize fats. Two, to break down toxic substances. So liver flush using olive oil has the liver, has your liver having to process all this 100% fat. Oils are 100% fat. That's crazy. Okay? That's crazy. And the gallstones you get aren't gallstones. They're hardened. It's bile and oil together forms these hard stones. They melt at room temperature. Okay? This is not something anyone should be doing. Your favorite outdoor activity besides surfing? So it's actually body surfing that I really love. And probably because I don't know how to surf very well. I've been on a surfboard various times. I keep telling myself I'll learn, but the truth is I'm lazy. I go to the beach. I was at the beach yesterday afternoon. All I need is a pair of trunks and I'm body surfing. Okay, I don't have to wax a board and take care of a board and haul a board around. And now there are things you can do on a surfboard that look amazing. But aside from that, I love hiking. I love playing frisbee is one of my all-time favorite things. I mean, I like almost everything in nature. So one of my favorite things to do is backgammon. But I just as soon sit outside and play backgammon as I would inside. But yes, I mean, yesterday at the beach, I was body surfing big waves and playing frisbee with a friend who had just taught to play frisbee a couple of weeks ago. She'd never thrown a frisbee before. It's fantastic. It's exercise. I'm running and jumping and catching and moving my body, and it feels fantastic. But being in the ocean, playing frisbee are two of my very, very favorite things to do. Amazing. All right, let me see what I've got over here on Instagram. Hello, folks. Radha, nice to see you. Camille, good to see you. What do you think about fasting in the summertime? Yeah, fasting is fine anytime. It's great when you can have fresh air. So better in the summertime than the wintertime, if in the wintertime you're stuck inside. But I ran a fasting center in the US for almost 10 years. And we fasted people throughout the year. We never closed. We closed once to move and once for renovations. We were open the rest of the time. And people fasted all year long. It's fine. It's much nicer when you can be exposed to fresh air. That's ideal. Okay, but it's okay. Any season, summer makes the most sense to me. How do you recommend doing a liver flush? I recommend not doing a liver flush. Okay, if you want to cleanse and heal your liver, you should fast long enough and properly with me, and I guarantee you far more cleansing and healing than is going to happen from some liver flush, which I just talked about, which includes things that never should belong in the body, never go in the body. No one should ever consume olive oil, okay, or any other oil. Continuing, juices including the cold pressed juices. Well, cold pressed juices are better than other juices, but not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. They're still overly concentrated, largely oxidized, fragmented, imbalanced, and contain heavy water, too much protein, too much sugar. So, I mean, they're best because there's maybe less oxidation. They're better, but they're a long way from what's ideal. Okay, a long way from ideal. I hope that makes sense to everybody. How am I doing here? I've got just a few minutes left. Okay. Should I take electrolytes? No, I already answered that question, didn't I? How does fever affect diastolic and systolic blood pressure if blood volume is where it should be? Does it increase or decrease them? How does it affect the spread? How does it affect heart rate? If your blood volume is where it should, then it will have little impact on your blood pressure. Your heart rate will often go up when your temperature goes up. Now, to what extent it goes up depends, because if your body is raising the temperature on purpose, it may not want to increase your heart rate to cool you down, but often your heart rate will go up a little bit. Okay? All right. Hope that helps. Let's see here. Saying hello to some folks here on Instagram. We're almost out of time here, folks. Carbon filtered tap water. Carbon filters are fine, but don't remove chlorine or fluoride. Okay, so they're not enough to make water safe to drink if you're filtering tap water. I wouldn't use them. Don't know so much about Berkey. Do you need to take shots to be able to fly there? You do not. You do not need any shots, any tests, anything. You used to need an insurance policy to get it. You don't need anything. You need a passport and a body. You need to get on an airplane. That's all. Okay, you don't need anything else. Anyone can come to Costa Rica. They've made it very easy to get into Costa Rica. We were one of the first 3 or 4 countries in the world to be completely open about 1.5 years ago, something like that. And so no problem. Come on in. It's great. Would you ever drink maple water? I don't know what you mean. If you mean water with maple syrup, no. If you mean the water from a maple tree, yeah, perhaps. Although, it's because that's far more diluted than maple syrup, right? Maple syrup is made by boiling the sap from a maple tree, boiling off the water, so what's left is sugar, basically. And that's why it's so sweet, and that's why it's not particularly good for you, because it jacks up your blood sugar. It has a very high glycemic load. If you added a little bit of that if you drank it before it was boiled down, it would be far more diluted and therefore far less harmful. But do we want to take the sap out of the tree? Is that good for the tree? I would guess not. I'd probably prefer to leave maple alone as much as possible. Okay. Is it okay to eat watermelon seeds? Like almost all fruit seeds, watermelon seeds are mildly toxic and are better left alone. Okay, the fruiting plant, in this case a vine, the watermelon vine, puts a lot of energy into making all that fruit for the specific purpose of getting those seeds into the ground so that they can propagate. If you eat them, that can't happen, and the plant's not happy. And because the plant wants that to happen, what it does is it makes the seeds toxic, so you don't eat them. So don't eat them. Okay, don't eat them. What do you speak about fasting? You're speaking about water fasting or dry fasting. I'm new to some of this. Okay, Carolyn, this might be the last question I get to. Dry fasting is insane. It's insane, folks. Listen, animals in nature do not dry fast. Okay, and here's what I mean. Let me clarify. Because animals in nature will often lay down and stop eating and won't drink any water. A polar bear, female polar bear, when pregnant, spends 5 months underground, denning, giving birth to her 2 cubs at a time, breastfeeding them, right, her own milk, while consuming nothing at all. Okay, but isn't she dry fasting? No. Here's the difference. She never decided she wasn't going to drink water. She listened to her instincts and stopped eating. If she needs water, guess what she does? She looks for water. Animals, when they're fasting, will seek water when thirsty. Humans, when fasting, dry fasting, they've made a decision up front they're not drinking water. There's all kinds of mythology around this that says it's better for you. Your cells turn into little incinerators and burn up the toxins. That's nonsense. Show me any science to support that. Now, I've seen a lot of people say, well, they got better. They're suppressing symptoms. When the body's dehydrated, it cannot cleanse or heal because those processes require having sufficient water. Making the body more dehydrated is never healthy in any way. You're not doing anything positive. Okay, we see people here who come in who have had practiced dry fasting periodically. They're the most dehydrated people here. And here's the thing, when we get them hydrated again, all their symptoms come back. They didn't fix anything. They just suppressed symptoms. Okay, it makes no sense. Okay, fasting means you're not eating, you're not taking in calories or nutrients. Okay, inorganic minerals in water, that's different. Okay, if they're naturally occurring, no problem. But we're not taking in any food, anything with calories or nutrients. No juice, can't put lemon juice in there. You can't add minerals to it. Anything added doesn't work. Okay, but that's what it means. No food, no calories or nutrients. Drinking water allows your body to do what it needs to do. There's no cleansing or healing happening without having sufficient water. I'll take anyone challenge who thinks they healed via dry fasting. Have them come and spend a month here. Now they're going to pay to be here because we stay full. We're not going to do this gratis for somebody. Come and spend a month with us. I guarantee you'll take your health to a whole new level. Dry fasting is insane, and people are dying from it all the time. Okay, people are harming themselves all the time. It's crazy. Folks, I'm late for my group call. I've got to go. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you next week, and great week, and I'll see you at the same time next week. One thing before you go, if this is valuable to you, okay, please give it a like on Instagram, give it a thumbs up here on YouTube. Okay, show a little bit of love, would you? I'm here for you every week for years now, trying to help as much as I can. If you think this is valuable, you can also share this on your page or channel, on groups, anywhere. Okay, share with other people. Let them know what you think about this, because I'm here sharing as much as I can to help you take your health to an amazing new level. Okay, that's the whole point of this, to educate people of what really works, what really happens. We see it all the time. Got to go. Have a fantastic week and weekend. I will see you next week. Come on, give me those likes. Thumbs up, please. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.